most recently, very surprisingly, rather, Lecrae and KB went on his podcast, The Deep End, and they had a very, very deep conversation where KB was kind of letting a lot of things be known of how he felt. Lecrae was finding out in real time, and they've had a conversation beforehand. But I was really, it's hard for me to say surprised, even though that's really how I felt, because we were on top of a lot of this. We knew that the way that Cray was moving wasn't necessarily sitting well with people like a KB and a Triple E. I was surprised to hear that Andy Mineo was kind of on the fence about it, or was kind of with but they were season 2, as Cray called it. But how did you guys feel about, KB talking about how, because he looked up to Lecrae in the way that he did, and Lecrae telling him that his, verse was trash, that crushed him. My thing is, when we talk about being in the industry, and I know I've done this a few times, I kind of felt bad a little bit later. But when we're talking about dealing with, that's what people do. You know what I'm saying? There was plenty of people that said, oh man, they made me write my verse, X amount of times until I got it. I think Cannon said it about Derek Minor. Hey, man, he made me write my verse, 30,000 times before I came correct with the right one. But from KB's perspective, Lecrae, I looked up to you. You were a spiritual mentor to me. So for you to say that, I mean, it really rocked me. What are y'all thoughts on this?
Man, hey, listen, bro. Like how I understand, in that moment in time, somebody that you look up to telling you, um, you can be better, you can do better. It's not good enough. I do understand how something like that for somebody you looked up to crushes you.
Yeah.
But man, if he
Yeah.
got the best like out of KB, like you can't tell me he didn't get the best out of KB, bro, because KB is elite
Yeah,
till
bro.
this day, bro. Like
Yeah.
till this day, KB is elite. And I applaud even KB for what he's been able to do post Reach Records. I mean,
Yeah.
because he's still that dude, stayed consistent, kept making music. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and he's still gonna give you like crazy energy. We want to talk about performances. Like KB was always my favorite performer,
Live
Christian hip
performer.
hop and mainstream. Like
Yeah.
KB has one of the best stage presence, in hip hop. Like period. I feel like
Yeah.
his energy level is next level. So and not to mention he's always gonna have, I feel like he's always forward thinking in concert music and concert songs and things like that. But dude is extremely talented, bro. And it's amazing to see even how he's grown, because KB was good back in the day when I feel like he was introduced to the world. But like KB became a great artist, bro. And I don't really just put that out there. Like KB became a really, really
Hey,
great
Cray said it
artist.
himself that he felt
And he
like
stayed
KB
true
was a
to
better
his
rapper than him.
convictions. Huh?
Cray said it himself. He felt like KB was a better rapper than him, and I don't think anybody would debate that.
I don't know. Yeah, I ain't gonna say that
Honestly,
that's a stretch. I mean,
I don't.
I'm not really
Yeah.
gonna say that that's a stretch. I mean, not a lot of people want to mess with KB, bro. Let's keep it
Yeah.
real. Like, let's keep it real. Not a lot of people got that, can have that energy with
I think.
KB.
I think. I think
Even to
Andy. I
this
think
day.
Andy. I think Andy might be able to get KB, bro.
Andy,
Nah,
I mean, we
stop
can
playing
have
with KB, bro.
conversations.
KB come from
Nah, I
That's
don't
that
know,
rap
Andy's
battle
because
pen
scene.
level. Andy's pen
Andy.
level
KB
is
literally
Andy's
comes from
crazy.
nice,
battle rap.
bro.
Like
Andy's
Andy's
nice,
pen
bro.
level is crazy. But
You talking about
I
this,
will
Day?
say,
Yeah, nah,
bigger,
KB
bigger.
invented
But
that.
I will say,
Yeah.
but KB's pen became elite too, though. Like a few years later, like and he's been doing this for years now at this point in terms of how elite his pen can be.
Yeah.
But I feel like he went to a whole level in terms of even his penmanship years ago, 6, 7 years ago. I feel like we was getting crazy elite penmanship from him. And so I just feel like it's been that way ever
But I mean,
since.
just
And
just
Andy Mineo, I mean, Andy Mineo, that dude, bro. I mean, he was battle rapping and stuff back in the day, and back in New York, if I'm not mistaken. Like dude is
yeah,
just
yeah. He
like
was in
when we
battle
talk
rap.
about
Yeah.
people that's born for this, that's born to do this. Like Andy Mineo is born to be a rapper, bro, to be a writer.
But
Like this dude,
I think one
yeah.
of the and I'll let you go, Day, in a second. I just think that one of the craziest things that came out of this interview was the fact that in real time, as Cray was growing, like as we were watching it from the outside, the artist from the inside was wrestling with what he was doing as well. Like from the outside, we all saw it like, oh, they ride with Cray, like they all about this. They all got the tattoos, like, you know what I'm saying? They all real niggas. So, you know, they're rocking with Cray, but we hear it from this end. We hear it now as a, oh, no, they really, Lecrae sent out an email to his people before South by Southwest and said, hey, let's intentionally not mention Jesus too much, or let's chill on the Bible raps because of who we are going to be in front of.
So
And
the hint was that was Lecrae that sent that message.
I mean, yeah, he would, because Lecrae can't. Well, okay, let me rephrase. It wasn't dead giveaway that it was Cray, but Cray had the meeting that said, hey, is anybody against the strategy that we have for the night?
Because
Like,
I mean,
so,
I know the story that you're about
yeah.
to explain, you know, and I was trying to, you know, figure out
So
exactly
I
who
would
this.
imagine, I mean, who gonna tell Lecrae what to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, and Lecrae came in with that. That's what I'm thinking about it. And maybe it wasn't Cray, but again, he had the meeting like, yo, we good with this? Because Cray was obviously good with it, right? And this was in between the time that he was the not wanting to be called a Christian rapper and all of that sense. But like I said, I think it's very interesting for us to be dealing with it as fans of how Cray was moving, and his own camp was kind of twisting and twirling with it. Like I said, the way I saw it, and Mineo was kind of on the side, like, that's Cray. We're going to ride with Cray, but, you know, I am kind of new to this Christian hip-hop thing, so, you know, really? And KB being triply reincarnated, we all knew KB was kind of like, yeah, nah, we ain't with that. And then Trip, that being his big brother, and they riding with him for as long as he did, you know, we knew Trip was kind of, Trip gonna speak the truth, but
I
he
like
gonna
how you
ride with Cray.
said triply reincarnated, because that makes perfect sense, right? Like
I'm saying,
KB,
come on, literally,
like
triply A and triply B, like seriously. But
yeah,
Dave,
yeah,
how are you
yeah,
feeling about
yeah,
that?
for sure, for sure.
Man, like you say, it was just tough watching it as a fan, from a fan's aspect, because we did not know that these were the conversations had being behind the scenes. We just thought that they
Yeah,
were rolling as one, and then they were having each other's back, despite, you know, what the forefront man Lecrae was saying and what he was doing. And ultimately, what really got me the most out of that interview, if we really talking the interview as a whole, or even to that segment point, is that Lecrae was telling KB, like, I don't want my fans to like come at you,
that's
like to come
deep.
at y'all.
Yeah,
I don't want my
yeah,
fans like, and that's when I was like,
right.
whoa, that is the thing. Like
But
Lecrae's
my thing
fans
is, who
is,
is Cray for him to think that he
bro.
had the fans that were about to
He
rip?
was, but he was
Like,
accurate though. He was very much accurate, because when he said that statement, when KB even kind of threw it out there to say, like, Lecrae, you told me this.
yeah,
This is the reason
yeah.
that you kind of threw out there, among many other things, of course. But that was the
I
bold
just
thing
when
that,
I heard him
yeah.
say that, I was like, Cray, 80% of your fans were still Christian hip hop fans.
But no,
They
but it was
wouldn't have
still
cared.
separate though.
They
But
wouldn't
they
have
did
cared.
care. They did care, because you got to think, even the clip that starts off his Deep End podcast, where he's showing all the secular moments where everybody's
Yeah,
criticizing him for being in the secular spotlight. Like, that's already a given that he has fans that are going to ride with him, but then ride against him so hard that it's going to affect everybody that touches him. And that's
yeah,
ultimately what I feel like he tried to portray to KB, even though KB had that feeling of like, bro, I'm your little brother, but you're
yeah,
not really treating me like that. You're treating me like an obligation, like
yeah.
a
Like an obligation.
liability,
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
obligation and a liability, meaning we can both hurt each other more than we can help each other,
But
not in
that's
the
my
way that we
thing.
need
Like,
to.
I think it's crazy, which
Yeah,
we knew this. Chris, you've mentioned this a bunch of times as stating that we saw these niggas grow up in real time. Like,
exactly.
especially somebody like Trip Lee, who released his first album at 16. He grew up before our eyes. You know what I'm
Yeah,
That's
saying?
why.
yeah, that
KB,
was.
and
I mean,
you
yeah,
know, you've even said this about Cray. Like, we saw Cray develop into the man that he is today in real time on
yeah.
stage in front of everybody.
You know, I think about oftentimes.
Yeah.
also growing
Yeah.
yourself in God, and you're just developing how you understand God, and you know, and your personal experiences with Him, and just growing spiritually. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to grow spiritually in real time,
Yeah.
and
With
that
the whole world
play
watching.
with the whole world watching,
Yeah.
and that play through your music throughout the years as well, because all you will hear is just somebody growing and getting older. So of course 23, 24-year-old Lecrae is not going to sound like 30-year-old Lecrae or 34-year-old Lecrae. Now whatever, I believe he's like 40 now, you know,
45. I think it's like
42,
40,
like
45, 43,
whatever,
somewhere up in there.
something,
Is he
whatever,
older than
whatever.
Brian? He's in his Brian year. Let's
He's
just go with that. He's in his
yeah, he's
Brian year.
LeBron of he's
He is
LeBron
the
of
LeBron of
Christian hip
CHH.
hop.
But no. Hey, stay there, because that's exactly the point that you're
Yeah,
making, right?
yeah,
Literally, LeBron James, who had to grow up in front of the entire world and be essentially thrusted into carrying the NBA
yeah,
at such a young age. Lecrae came in, and I mean, it was his fault because he's so talented. It was his fault because he started making music for the people that weren't just in youth groups. But for him to essentially be the face of Chris, I mean, his record started doing amazing. You know, when you have two different sides of fans. You got mainstream rap fans and Christian hip hop fans and theological fans being fans of yours. Your music is going to do numbers. And so you essentially became the face of Christian hip hop at what? 25, 26. Let's just say, be nice to him and say at 30, like, and be respectful to some of the ones that came beforehand. But
yeah,
you became
yeah,
the face of Christian hip hop, and you were still growing. You know, when you talk about songs like Zombie and him releasing an entire album, an anomaly, and being so open about some of the stuff that we had no idea that he was dealing with, and some of the things that he went with, and some of the struggles that he had, like, that has to be a lot. On top of that, raising a family, bro got what, 3 kids? Like, and he's married. Like,
yeah,
that is hard to have. And you got a label that you're running and having to be a spiritual, father to some of these people, which in your mind, you just thinking it's rap shit, right? In your mind, you just thinking, hey, this is a label. This is what you're supposed to do. Like, this is what I expect. But
That man
then,
said, "Hey man, come on, record, just go."
yeah, like,
KB
like,
said
man,
he
ain't
was
nobody,
thrown off
yeah,
by that.
he was like, man, ain't nobody trying to hear all that, man. Come on, man, hit
He
the
said,
button.
"Just record, just
Yeah,
go rap, just go do
yeah,
you."
just
He
do
said, "I thought I
it.
was supposed to be with you, doing stuff with you." He said, "Bro, just go make your music and come back."
But even in that, when he found out KB was getting married, he's like, oh no, you can't come on the road with me, because he understood the sharks that were on the road. So, like, it's dope to hear both sides of this. And I do kind of feel bad for KB in the moment. Again, we all knew that KB wasn't like really with it. And the rumblings of him leaving came after what? That second album? He didn't leave at that point, but there were already rumblings because of how Lecrae was moving. Tomorrow We Live.
Are
After he
you
dropped,
ashamed of me and Triple E?
yeah, bro.
Are you ashamed of me?
But
It's
I
crazy.
but
I
I
wouldn't
get
imagine.
it,
I couldn't imagine how I would feel if my family came to me and said, "Are
bro.
you
But
ashamed of
I
me?"
get it, because
Bro,
your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, or your Bible rapper's Bible rapper, talking about Triple E, and like, when it came with Triple E, like, we kind of understood, right? Trip is gonna be Trip. This is somebody that Cray has never tried to mess with, never really tried to change from what we can see. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool, it's clean. Like, everything is fine. Like, he agrees to allow Trip to rap the way that he wants to rap, and he's gonna go and do the way that he's gonna do it. But when KB came on, we was kind of all like, oh, I don't know how long KB gonna stay. You see the way Cray moving. What KB is talking about on his records versus what Cray talking about on his records. That's gotta be difficult. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, it came to leave it to Cray to say that he never wants to just keep somebody on the label. He always wants them to go. But, you know, we've heard all the stories, right? We've heard the rumblings of the Derek Minor relationship, you know, in that whole thing is what Sho Baraka, when Sho Baraka left, he was like, you know, I want to be able to do A, B, C, and D, and y'all not trying to let me, just for them to go around Sho Baraka and do the exact same thing 2 years later that Sho Baraka was trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's a real weird place for Cray, but that gave me a lot of compassion for Cray in that moment and what he had been through. And y'all know we've always defended Cray and been on this side in regards to this stuff, but it gave me a lot of compassion for Cray, but it made me truly feel for KB.
Yeah.
Like real, yeah.
I mean,
like,
I think it is crazy that we can have that we can listen to them talk about these things now. Because like you said, back in the day it was always speculation. You know,
always.
especially, you know, Jay, you know how deep we were. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we
like
heard we
like
got the chirps.
getting
People hit us
texts,
privately, like
getting
we
texts
knew what was
left
up.
and right.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was
Yeah.
in it deep to where, you know, we knew what was going on behind the scenes, you know. But so a lot of the things that came out, like, it was no shocker for us, or like we had a good sense of like this was coming. So, you know, KB leaving wasn't a surprise to us. And I think we had kind of did we kind of spill the beans on that back in the day, like
That what KB was leaving?
that he was potentially leaving or something like that.
Hey, man, we done broke so many stories. I could take the credit and say we probably did based off of some information that got leaked to us. But I mean, Andy Mineo, I mean, we was on top of that too, but he wound up saying it himself in one of his records. But yeah, I think you're right.
But you know, ultimately, it was always speculation. At the end of the day, that's my major point. Um, you know, so to be able to hear them speak now, years later, and to kind of dissect those things, and we don't have to guess about it, I think is a
Yeah,
beautiful thing. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
It's
Even
good
them being
closure.
able,
It's good closure,
yeah,
even for the fan base.
yeah, even for the
Yeah,
fan base. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
It's great closure. Yeah,
Because we get the view into truly the mindset of that camp, the inner minds of that camp, that
yeah,
everything wasn't, you know, peaches and cream. Everything wasn't, you know, daisies, and everything wasn't just all cool. That there was some disagreements at the time. There were some even there, you know, heartbreaks and things like that.
yeah,
So I think that that's dope that we get to actually see that today. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
yeah, and
Nah.
shouts
That
out
was
to KB.
yeah. Shouts out to
And
KB and Cray for actually
a legend.
being willing to do that. Yeah.
Both are legends. Both have
Mm-hmm.
seats at the legends table. And I think that this is dope. You know, that they come together and have that conversation. It was dope to
Yeah.
see.
Real talk.